Well, looky what I found on my porch. So, Stifflers lower control arms are finally here. So now that means I can head to the junkyard and get my lower control arm bolts that I still need to get. And they pick up a couple other goodies and fender liners and that kind of stuff. So that's the plan for the day. Is I'm gonna unbox those, make sure they actually look good. I'm probably gonna weigh them because I weighed the old DJM arms before I sold them off. And we'll head out to the junkyard, see what kind of trouble we can get into. Well, first and foremost, I was successful at finding some lower control arm bolts. I found them off of a truck that had 130,000 miles on it, so it should be pretty equivalent to what I have, except for they haven't been torqued on a bunch. It looked like all original front end, so excited for that. And then I went looking for a special part, I'll say it that way, for a friend of mine, and didn't have any luck for that, but I ended up at a junkyard over in Fort Worth, and I had the first time that I've had someone on the streets recognize me, and it was a nice guy named Joel, and he was checking out or pulling out a center console out of an Expedition, and I said hi to him, and I said, you know, just say what's up, and then all of a sudden he's like, I think I know you. I think you're on one of my Facebook groups, and I think you look just like a guy that has a Coyote swap. I said, yeah, that's me. So I don't feel like a celebrity, but it's kind of weird running into someone that recognizes me from the internet. But anyways, nice guy. I'm gonna throw up a couple pictures of his truck. His truck actually caught my attention out in the parking lot before I came in, and randomly ran into him. So nice meeting him, and good luck with your center console project you're doing. And I'm gonna get back to work on my truck when I get home. First impressions after unboxing them, they are super nice. They are significantly lighter weight than I expected. A nice Stifflers decal on them, but they're I weighed them. They're 17 pounds, and they came with some really nice hardware as well. They came with a coilover mounting kit. They came with new sway bar end links, because the mounting for the end links is different. And then this is all the castle nuts and Zerk fittings and adjustable bump stops for the steering. But yeah, I was super impressed with them. They're super high quality, which I knew they're high quality, but just actually getting my hands on them for the first time, they're spot on. So I'm gonna get them mounted, or at least one of them mounted, and do some initial measurements, and I'll have to figure out, I don't know, somewhere around here is my notes of how much the DJM ones weighed, so it'd be nice to figure out the weight savings just in the control arms. But so I'll throw a little post-editing blurb on right here, and compare the weights, and we'll go from there. I've already ran into my first struggle, so I ended up having to knock the bushing sleeve out of that sleeve of the front lower control arm. For some reason, the sleeve is too big to go into the lower control arm pocket, so I'm gonna have to shave off probably about a 32nd of an inch or so, and then I'll put I'll test fit it in there, but then I'll put it back in the control arm. But I just kept fighting it, and I could not get the lower control arm in. The back one went straight in, it's perfect, but for some reason the front one's just a little bit tight. Well, the control arms are in, at least one side is. That was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be to get that in there. I still ended up fighting it to get it in. I ended up putting both bolts back to front, and I'm gonna hope that my front side I have enough room to get a socket in there to tighten that, or at least hold that side. I'll cross that bridge when I get a little closer, I guess, but I think that's going to be overall better than trying to mutilate another bolt, and we'll see. But I haven't tightened anything down yet. I just have it kind of sitting in there. So my next step is going to be taking some measurements from the center point here for the coilover to the top of the shock tower there. I'm not sure how that's going to look, or if I need to modify something up here, because technically the coil spring was mounted here underneath on the big surface, so I don't know if this top hat is technically load rated or not. So I may end up doing something custom up there. I'm going to do some more research and figure out what other people are doing, and we'll see what we end up with. But my sway bar end link and the rest of that can come out now. Like I said, the Stifflers comes with a different setup because it's got a single hole instead of a double, or a through hole, I should say. So got more to play with, but I at least got one in, so I can take some initial measurements and do some more research. Well, the truck's up on blocks, and I got a bunch of stuff on the bed cover, but I'm trying to eyeball my ride height, and best I can come up with on my notes here. So my knuckle from the center line of the knuckle to the lower ball joint is 6 inches, and then take out an inch for the thickness of the knuckle, so 5 inches. So I went from here, the bottom of the boot, I pressed it up a little bit, from 5 inches up, and then that's where the top of my tape measure is my ride height. And then I measured my ride height in the back is 27 to 27.5 inches, something like that, from wheel lip to the ground, or to the block that it's sitting on. So I then accounted for the 5 inches of block, and then my radius from my center to where the block would be, if I had a block here, would be 13.5 inches. So I took my tape measure as a combined of 19 inches from the ground. See if I can do this one-handed. So I did like that, and you can see my my 5-inch lines up with about where the top of the boot, the top of the knuckle will be, the bottom of the boot. So once I got the control arm figured out ride height, then I came in here with the tape measure, and I went up to the top of the tower up here, like that, and that puts me at 13 inches on the center of the bolt. So then I can figure out, so 13 inches from the center of the bolt, so I can figure out my effective ride height should be about 13 inches, assuming I'm using that top mounting pad. And so the only other thing I need to measure is the width of the opening of that coil spring perch to make sure that my new coil spring will fit inside that opening. If not, I'll have to cut that open and make that bigger, which again will make that weaker, and then probably need more reinforcements or gussets or something. So that's where I'm at with it. So I'm gonna go jump on the computer, I'm gonna edit this video and do some more research. So I will let you know as soon as I know more about what I'm ordering and however long it's going to take to get it. And then I'm still waiting on the Stiffler upper control arms, which could be another 2 or 3 weeks, potentially maybe longer. So I'm making progress. It's slow going because parts are hard to get, but stay tuned. I will catch y'all on the next one.